and you can actually watch them when they travel out here, when you're on the lake at night. And they travel. They travel from community to community. And this is the time of the year when they do that traveling.
By witches, what's the definition of a witch in this sense?
A witch is a spirit that brings evil to communities. So we call them, you know, the term that everybody understands is a witch, right? Somebody that
Right.
our medicine people
Witchcraft,
have to counter their, lack of better words, their spells, their
Right.
sickness that they
Curse.
bring on people, all those things, right? So I was out with my wife. We were spearing one night. We got out on the water. She could tell you that herself. We got out behind one of the big islands right in the middle of Upper Stony, and I looked up in the sky and I said to her, I said, we're out of here. Turned the boat around and headed right back to shore. Never put a spear in the water. There were that many witches traveling down that lake. See the difference between one that's spawned and one that hasn't? Between where these gill line is and this back fin, right there, boom. And that's the best meatiest part for your fish and your spear to penetrate. So then, see it dripping eggs? So it's ready to spawn. So these fish are just starting.
And what do you do with those eggs?
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to be in that bucket. He's going to milk these eggs out of these fish, and then he's going to take a male and he'll milk the sperm out of that male, and more of those fish will survive by doing that than a natural spawn.
Wow.
Or you can take a pail, milk all the eggs into a pail, and then milk the sperm into a pail. You can use a rubber spatula, mix it all up, and then pour those eggs back in here, and you will get more fish out of that than these fish naturally, because that female will let her eggs go. that male's coming, but not necessarily is he going to discharge on top of all those eggs. He may hit 1/8 of that string of eggs that she lets go. Then the rest of those eggs are no good. Well, they're good for other animals, right, in the ecosystem that are in here that are going to eat them. But properly, if we really want to play the conservation thing, we milk our males and we get the eggs out of our females. And we do that in the water, and then we put back, and we're actually putting more fish back than what these fish are actually doing themselves. This year, the areas that you can walk out here have seriously impacted the spawn. Now, we go through a number of issues here with spawn. Sometimes they let too much water out. The water is too high. The fish come in and spawn. Then they drastically lower the water. And you can't stand the smell of it over there because all that spawn is dying on the rocks. And you'll see hundreds of seagulls coming in here, landing and eating all the spawn off those rocks. So it's like a double-edged sword over here with water management. Too much, not enough. Very seldom do they get it right when we have enough water to have a good spawn. So not only have we affected the spawn this year, we've affected our turtle population, our frog population, any of those creatures that burrow into that mud, because the water was lowered so much over the winter time that they froze. They didn't have that water to protect them when they're in that mud. We drove ice right down into that mud. And I'll guarantee you that when I go out spearing, probably tomorrow night in the boat on the lake with my son, as I'm going along the shore in those back bays, I will find hundreds of frogs with their white bellies up, laying on the bottom. That tells me, again, how bad the water fluctuation here has been. So as I say, tonight, or the next 10 days, your numbers are going to show us how bad it is. When all of these dams are repaired and they have a proper water flow going down, and they don't have all the pressure on all these coffer dams that are everywhere in the system right now, our waters will come back. And if you do your studies then, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because you will see thousands upon thousands of fish out there like they're supposed to be. But this year is going to impact future years because of what's happening here. So we've done it this year. We got a new dam going to be built here at Burleigh whenever that happens. So the minute they start putting those coffer dams in here to divert the water, we're going to continue to see less water coming over the falls here at Burleigh.